Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got some fantastic material from y'all on mindfulness. Clearly something many of you are looking into.
Yeah, it's a popular topic, and the sources you sent really cover both the what and the how.
Exactly. So our mission today is basically to cut through the noise, pull out the core ideas, and give you some practical stuff you can actually use based directly on what you shared.
Sounds good. We want to synthesize this into, actionable insights. What is mindfulness really? Why bother? And how do you even start?
Okay, let's unpack that first part then, defining it.
Mm.
One definition that really stood out from Dr. Roxanne Sukol,
Yeah.
she keeps it super simple, just being in the moment.
Right. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But then she immediately contrasts that with, well, where our minds usually are.
Which is anywhere but the moment, often. Thinking about yesterday, worrying about tomorrow.
Exactly. And her key point, the real insight, I think, is that doing that means you're kind of missing your life.
Oof, yeah, that lands. Missing your life because you're not present for it.
So mindfulness, fundamentally, is about anchoring yourself back into the now so you actually experience things.
Which makes total sense when you put it like that. So, okay, if we manage to do that, what are the payoffs? The source mentions something called engaged relaxation.
Yeah, I liked that term. It's not just zoning out, is it? It's more like being actively in the present, but calmly.
Okay, and the benefits are?
Well, the obvious ones are feeling less stressed, calmer, more relaxed. That's what most people think of first.
Sure, stress relief.
But there's more. The source digs into the physiological side, too. It's not just in your head.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about the physical stuff.
So it talks about breathing. The deeper, more intentional breathing you often do in mindfulness practices. It actually changes things physically.
How so?
Well, basically, it boosts the oxygen getting to your brain.
Right.
And the knock-on effect, the source suggests, is better concentration, even potentially better problem-solving skills.
Wow, okay. So literally helping your brain function better, not just making you feel calmer.
That seems to be the idea, yeah. It connects the mental and the physical.
Got it. And the material also brings up meditation quite a bit.
Yeah.
How closely tied are mindfulness and meditation? Are they basically the same?
They're very closely related, definitely. But maybe think of meditation as like the workout. It's the main way many people train their mindfulness muscle, if that makes sense.
Okay, the practice versus the state of being.
Kind of. And Dr. Sukol shares her own experience, right? Saying it took time, like a couple of years of meditating.
Yeah. What did you notice?
She felt gradually more grounded, more relaxed, less reactive, more measured in her responses. It wasn't an overnight thing.
Right, which is important. It's a gradual development. Okay, so if meditation is a key tool, how do we start? Because honestly, the idea of meditating can feel big, daunting.
Totally. And the source, Dr. Sukol specifically, addresses that head on. She recommends starting ridiculously small.
How small are we talking?
1 minute, just a single minute of meditation.
Oh, wow. Okay, that feels different. Almost anyone can find 1 minute.
That's the point. She says most of her patients react like, okay, yeah, I could probably do that. It lowers the barrier right down.
So what does that 1 minute actually involve? Is it complicated?
Not at all. Super simple. Find somewhere quietish, she even suggests. Like your parked car before work or something.
Right, makes sense.
Then you just close your eyes, take one sort of warm-up breath, inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds.
Okay, slow and steady.
And then you just repeat that, the 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, 5 more times. That's it. That's your minute.
5 focused breaths after a gentle start.
Oh.
Okay, I can see that. And the source makes a point about how even that tiny bit adds up, right?
Absolutely. It seems small, but 1 minute every day, it's 30 minutes a month. 6 hours over a year. It accumulates.
Yeah, that's actually quite a lot of focused practice built from tiny steps.
And that consistent small effort can often be more powerful than trying to do, say, an hour once a month and then falling off. Plus, like Dr. Sukol found herself.
What happened with her?
Well, she mentioned her own 1-minute sessions just naturally started getting a bit longer over time. It wasn't forced.
Okay. So it can evolve organically.
Yeah.
But meditation isn't the only way, is it? The source gives this huge list, like 20 other things.
Yes. And this is where it gets really practical for everyday life, I think. It shows mindfulness isn't just about sitting on a cushion.
Right. It's about bringing that awareness into activity.
Exactly. And the list is so varied. There's something for pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I saw things like getting a massage, planting flowers in the garden, yoga, obviously.
Hiking in the woods, fishing, just sitting by a fire.
Curling up with a book, eating lunch outside, simple things.
Pottery classes, getting a pedicure, walking the dog, knitting.
It really covers a lot. Joining a book club, savoring tea, doing hands-on crafts like woodworking.
Going camping, writing in a journal, watching a sunrise, swimming, listening to classical music. It goes on.
So the core idea here isn't the activity itself necessarily.
Well, the activity helps, but the core idea is bringing your attention to it fully, engaging your senses in whatever you're doing.
Whether it's the feeling of a water while swimming, the texture of yarn while knitting, or the sounds in the woods.
Precisely. It's about pulling your focus into that present moment experience, whatever it is.
And importantly, the message isn't do all 20 things, right?
Oh, definitely not. That would be overwhelming. It's about finding one or two things that resonate with you. What helps you feel present and engaged?
And that might change day to day or week to week.
Exactly. It's flexible. It's about having options to cultivate that mindful awareness in different ways.
Okay, so whether it's the 1-minute meditation or maybe trying to mindfully walk the dog, how do we actually make this stick? Starting is one thing, but maintaining it.
That's always the challenge with new habits, isn't it? Dr. Sukal's advice, which echoes through the source material, is crucial here. Very tiny steps.
Keep it small.
And set accessible goals, things you can realistically achieve. Why? Because succeeding, even in a small way, feels good.
Positive reinforcement. It makes you want to do it again.
Exactly. If you aim too high, like meditating for 30 minutes right off the bat, you might fail, feel bad, and then just give up.
Makes sense. Start small, build momentum. But what about, the mind wandering? That happens to everyone, right? You sit down to focus on your breath, and suddenly you're planning dinner or replaying a conversation.
Oh, constantly. The source is very clear. That's totally normal. That is what minds do. The key insight isn't to stop the mind from wandering. Good luck with that.
Right.
It's about how you respond when you notice it's wandered. No judgment. Don't beat yourself up.
So what do?
You gently just return. Dr. Sukal talks about returning to the breath. The breath is always there in the present moment.
So the breath is like an anchor. The source called it a proxy for the present, I think.
That's a great way to put it. Your mind drifts off. You notice you gently guide it back to the sensation of breathing. That's the loop. That's the practice.
Okay, so the work isn't preventing the wandering. It's the noticing and the returning.
Exactly. And the source stresses, practice makes progress, not perfection. Some days it'll feel easier. Some days your mind will be all over the place. That's okay.
It takes the pressure off thinking about it like that.
And Dr. Sukal had that really clear line about the purpose of it all.
What was that?
The purpose of meditation is simply to meditate.
Not to achieve some magical state, but just to do the practice itself.
Right. The process is the point. Noticing distractions, returning to your focus again and again without giving yourself a hard time about it.
Which leads nicely into the final point the source really emphasized. Self-compassion. Being kind to yourself through this.
Yes. This felt really important. It's so easy to be self-critical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when trying something new.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it right. My mind is too busy.
And Dr. Sukal makes this interesting observation about society, how sometimes we almost take pride in discomfort.
What do you mean?
Like bragging about how little sleep we got or how we skipped lunch because we were too busy, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The busyness badge of honor.
Right. And she pushes back against that, saying being kind to ourselves, prioritizing our well-being, engaging in things that nurture us. It isn't selfish or weak. She calls it imperative, necessary, not just for our own health, but so we can actually show up better for others too.
That ripple effect again. Taking care of yourself allows you to be more present and supportive for the people around you.
It connects back to everything.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Pulling together the key takeaways from the material you sent. Mindfulness, at its heart, is about being aware of the present moment. Simple idea, but powerful.
Right. And practicing it brings real benefits, mental calm, stress reduction, but also potentially physical ones, like better focus due to that increased oxygen flow.
We can cultivate it through dedicated practice, like meditation, even starting with just 1 minute.
Which is super accessible.
Right.
Or by bringing mindful attention to everyday activities, like dozens of the ones listed in the source, something for everyone.
The key seems to be starting small, setting achievable goals, and being patient and kind to yourself when your mind inevitably wanders.
Absolutely. Remember the breath as your anchor. And remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's just the practice itself. Consistent, gentle effort.
So for everyone listening, the encouragement is to maybe experiment a little. Try that 1-minute meditation, or pick one activity you already do, and try bringing more focused awareness to it. Remember those tiny steps.
Yeah, just see what happens.
And it may be a final thought to leave you with, building on that self-compassion idea. Just reflect for a moment. What's one small act of self-kindness you could consciously choose to do today? And just notice, how might doing that intentionally shift your focus, even slightly, back to this present moment?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for diving deep with us today.